Okay, hello, welcome to episode 3 of the ASHBY BSION Bass Academy for bass playing, learning people, learning songs. This song is called Highways on Fire by ASHBY BSION. And it's a pretty fun one with, what we need to know is that it's in E, but we're spending a whole lot of time on C sharp minor. And we're going to get started in just a second with the play along. Let's go. Okay. Well, it's going to start with some guitar, and then we have a cue where we're going to come in. Right here. We're going to hold on this note here. Alright, so we made maybe a couple mistakes there, but that's okay. Because the essence of what we're doing is still there. So, the guitar in those verses, first let's start with the big riff you're going to be playing, which is walking down C sharp minor pentatonic scale. And we're in this little bluesy box, which is right, the same thing as, but instead of that, we're moving it an octave down, which is very, you know, blues. But we're going to walk down and really try to emphasize that flam there. That's going to give it a little bit more weight when we're hitting that note. We can slide it or we can flam it, either way. And then the second part of that is going to be mirroring what the guitar is doing, but we're going to be 2 octaves down from what the guitar is doing. So we're going to big open, grab this this note here, which is G sharp or A flat, and then the nice thing is we never have to repeat that. We never have to go from we're gonna always be going to an A there. But so the first time we play that in the intro, right, the guitar is going. And we only have to play it once before the drums and the whole band comes in. So we're going to go. We're going to stay up here. And then we're going to hold here on the 9th fret of the A string, which is F sharp. We're going to hold that F sharp, and then the drums are going to go. And then we're going to hit. That's going to bring us into our main kind of verse groove, which is going to start on C sharp. And flams are encouraged. Flams are always encouraged. So we're going to go from that C sharp to an A. And you get a lot of free reign here. This is where, like, do what you want. I was playing it pretty safe and maybe made a couple mistakes because we're recording a video. We get nervous. It's bass. You know, what are we going to do? So we can either go walk down the scale and then bring it back up. We can follow what the vocal melody is doing, which the vocal melody is. So we can hit like we can hit like grab a couple notes out of that, right? So go, or excuse me. Right, grabbing that from that intro riff. There's a lot of options here, but what our framework that we're working with is mostly C sharp or E major. E, but again, we're gonna kind of try to. There's like a couple notes that sound good in there, but really, it's about hitting those. If you do that the whole time, you're golden. Throw in a couple things, right? Hitting that. But as long as you're hitting that F sharp and that A, And that's going to bring us into a chorus. In the chorus, we're going to keep it super simple because we got a big riff. So until we hit that big riff, we're going to keep it super simple. Right? We got an A. And we're going to slide up to that B before we hit an open. To A, B. And while we're hitting that B, we're going to come into... It's kind of a jump, so if you want to miss that last note to get there, get to the big riff. So A. And then we don't do with that again. We actually would go... Or you can, but be careful with an open string because you have a little less control. When I generally try to avoid open strings unless it's like a passing note, because you can't mute it. Right? It's a little hard. It's not a big deal. So then we've got, this is the complicated part, slightly complicated. So after the second chorus, there's gonna be a big triplet hit, right? And then we're gonna hit a big hit there, and then go back into a verse, do kind of a quiet verse, and then another chorus. And then we're going to get to the first little instrumental bridge section. And that one is going to go... so starting on a C sharp, and we're going to go... We're going to hit that G sharp. And the chords the guitar are playing is going to do that C sharp minor 7 to this is an E flat dominant 7, and then to E major, and then anyway, it's climbing up that minor thing, that C sharp. But we could follow that if we were playing a boring bass line, but that's not what we're doing here. We're playing... So... so that's going... So the first time we're hitting that A flat or G sharp up to the E flat, and then the second time we're going to do the same rhythm, the same movement, but instead of hitting the A flat, we're going to hit an A, or the, I don't know what fucking thing it is, but getting up to that E. And then we're going to do the same move to the A. And then we're going to grab that little thing from the big riff. And then the second time we're going to do it, we're actually going to do that riff down. So a whole step. And that's going to bring us to the part that we're playing underneath the guitar solo that's happening. And that's going to start... it's going to be starting on that C sharp minor chord for the guitar, but we're going to do a fun thing here where we're going to play that C sharp minor, and then we're going to hit an E, and then we're going to go G sharp, to A, and then we're going to hit from that A, we're going to hit the C sharp, so down to this note here, the G sharp. So and then we're going to do that same move, and then we're going to walk up with a A and then the major third to the B and then that major third again. That's the shape, the interval, but it's actually A, C sharp to B, E flat. So altogether that's going to look like, or excuse me, and that's going to happen 4 times, and then the guitar is going to do a cool ascending line, which we don't need to worry about until the whole band comes in. So it's going to, in fact, you know, why don't we play it right now, just so we can hear what's going on, right around here. So that's where we're playing that. Oh. Guitar's playing that, and we're doing nothing until it comes done. I messed that up. Okay. Well, and then we're gonna hit the riff again. Back into another chorus. Let's pause that there. Let's do that again so we can hear what I was supposed to play before I messed that up. Okay, so C sharp, and then it's going to go to a B, and then it's going to go to the G sharp. And then we're going to hit the root. And we're doing a loop. Okay. So that'll take us to the end of the song, where at the end of the song we're going to repeat that triplet hit. And that's the whole tune. Yeah. Make sure to put any questions you have in the comments and like and subscribe.